Good evening and welcome to the Norseman Holiday Quest Draw. My name is Philip O'Connor and you have no idea how great it is to be speaking to you all again after the year that we have had in 2020. We're here to give out a few little prizes here this evening. We're here just to touch base with you again after what's been a very tough year for everybody. I am here, race manager or general manager. Dog Oliver is here and he will not thank me for getting his title wrong yet again, but I've been doing it for years now, so he should be well used to it. Also on the show this evening, we're going to have Stuart McInnes, who is president of the X-Tri World Tour, also CEO of the X-Tri World Tour, if you happen to be sending Christmas cards in that direction. And we have, of course, the legend that is Kaya Hovding, who is the shopkeeper for Norseman, but also a board member. She is the woman who makes it all happen, or certainly one of the people who makes it all happen with this wonderful race. As you're all aware by now, the Norseman has survived 2020. Even though no events took place. This is only possible due to the loyalty and support of sponsors like Zalaris, Renault, Bundegruppen, and all our other partners, as well as you, the athletes and supporters around the world that breathe life into this great race year after year. The plan is to return in 2021 when we can hopefully stage a race that is as safe as it will be spectacular. 2020 is nearing its end, ladies and gentlemen, and it will go down as a year that will long be remembered, but seldom fondly. It's a year that has changed the world we used to know forever, and what it leaves us with remains to be seen. Some of us have lost loved ones along the way. Almost all of us have lost out financially and in terms of opportunity. But the night is darkest just before the dawn, and we know that soon this too will pass. I first heard of the coronavirus back in February, and I'm willing to guess that, as many of us did, I thought it was just a little bit over-exaggerated. I remember the previous scares to do with the avian flu and SARS, and how the doommongers had predicted the end of the world, only for those diseases to die out seemingly as quickly as they had arrived on our shores. How wrong I was. On the 17th of March this year, the European Soccer Championships were cancelled. Shortly after that, the Tokyo Olympics were put on ice. One by one, sporting events fell by the wayside as we struggled to contain and to control this invisible virus. The Norseman was quickly added to the list of cancellations, and anyone who knows anything about this race would understand why. Perhaps more than any other race in the world, the Norseman is a tribute. It's an homage to Mother Nature. And when she decides it's not safe for us to play, then we don't play. Our race is a collective undertaking, the result of thousands of hours of work by athletes and organisers and volunteers, painted on a canvas that stretches over 220 kilometres of the rugged Norwegian countryside. There was no way a safe race could be held, at least not for all the participants. As we'll see a little bit later on in this broadcast, one man did undertake it. Alan Hovda did the Norseman solo, and in doing so, he sent a signal. We accepted the warning of Mother Nature, but we want her to allow us to visit her again as soon as possible. We're ready and we're waiting. We can be delayed, but we cannot be denied. For those of you familiar with the Norseman course, 2020 as a year has been Zombie Hill, a test of strength and spirit that has been a trial even for the toughest of the tough. But as those who have reached the top of the mountain will tell you, Zombie Hill is only part of the journey, and so too with 2020. And when you finally get past Zombie Hill and past the climb that follows, you get to the top of that mountain. The crisp, clean air fills your lungs, and Zombie Hill looks tiny from above. What was once a mighty, almost insurmountable challenge is reduced to mere scratches on a map, robbed of its power by our enduring spirit. 2021 is now the top of our mountain, and our first task is to go back to the start and to dream it all up all over again. The pandemic has forced us to change not just how we do things, but why. The endurance athletes among us know that much of the suffering is done alone, but in the best of worlds, that need never be lonely. We surround ourselves with like-minded people and we spur each other on to things greater than any of us can imagine. Our limits are being tested. Our powers are being tested. Our spirit is being tested. And if we come through all of this, we owe it to those who don't make it to carry on this legacy, to honor their memory by doing what it is that unites us all, striving for that Olympian spirit of Cetius, Altius, Fortius, higher and faster and stronger, but even more so by doing it all together. For no man or woman makes it to the top of the mountain alone in the Norseman. For the last stage, they are always supported, encouraged, urged on by their team. And at the top, they are met by those who have ensured their safe passage, and they are embraced in the warmth of an unforgettable achievement. My friends, we will remember 2020, even if it won't be fondly. But the best way to banish old memories is to forge new ones. This is what 2021 is for. To begin to relive the lives that we put on hold, to seize the opportunities that this year will offer, and to do so in a spirit of community further strengthened by what we have all been through together. We've waited a long time, and we still have to wait just a little bit longer. But believe me, sooner or later, when all of this is over, we'll once again be swimming in Eidfjord, and I can't wait to see you there. Kaya, with that in mind, we haven't actually got a draw to make this year. Can you just tell me a little bit about what we decided to do when the race was originally cancelled?
Well, basically, we decided that if we had to cancel the race, and if we didn't let people actually participate in 2021, that would be like twice the punishment. Because we know how many people have tried to get a spot in the Norseman. People have tried for many years to win one through the lottery. So it would, we discussed it and we concluded that it would just be extremely unfair.
Yeah, talk about putting the cherry on the top of a really, really bad year. Imagine losing your position in the Norseman on top of all that as well. How have you found it personally? Because obviously your work with the board is going to be an awful lot less when there's no race to be run, but you still have to plan for 2021. How has that been for you when you're working from home?
Well, it's been really interesting, but to be honest, we haven't really had that much of a break because after we decided that there wasn't going to be a race in 2020, we also decided that we wanted to have lots of activities surrounding Norseman and try to do virtual races and do as much as possible to sort of keep the Norseman spirit going through the year. And we also, we start to plan next year's race before we've had so we've already started to plan it. We started to plan 2021 already way before August this year.
I'm sure there's plenty of people out there raring to go. One of them, of course, is Stuart McGuinness. I mean, your life must have been turned upside down, Stuart, because it's not just the Norseman that you're involved in. You're involved in the X-Tri World Tour, but you're running something parallel to this, which isn't a virtual competition. Can you tell me a little bit about the My X-Tri Remote Participation Challenge? What's that, and how can people get involved in it, Stuart?
Well, that is, as you say, a remote participation challenge that we designed to give the appetite of the athletes something to play for this year, because we had virtually no events. But it comes under the kind of umbrella of virtual racing. But we've done our best to exclude the word virtual because we're encouraging as many people as possible to do this outside. So this is called My X-Tri. You can find it on myxtri.com or via the X-Tri World Tour website. And it's a challenge. At the moment, we're in chapter 2, we call it, which is the Mountains of X-Tri. And that's a series of segments based on our real races where the athletes have to gain ascent, cycling and running. And it runs until March the 31st. And it's incredibly tough. Of course, because it's extreme.
You know, if there is any sort of a silver lining to this pandemic, the more we have learned about COVID-19 as we've gone along, we've seen that this is actually something that, as long as you're alone and you're out in the fresh air, well, then you're actually you're not in any danger yourself, and you're no real danger to anybody else. So this is a perfect thing for anybody who wants to get involved in triathlon and wants to keep their hand in as they go along. My friend Dag Oliver is somewhere there in Norway. We're just going to check in with him now because we have a couple of speed suits from Trimtex that we're going to give away here this evening. Dag, are you almost ready to make that draw?
I hope so.
I hope so. There's never a Norseman draw without controversy. So let's just put that on the board.
We are testing the limits for our technical capabilities here. We're better at organizing races than live broadcasts on our own.
And
so,
if you don't manage to do that, you can certainly get a job as an extra in The Mandalorian with that headset. Definitely.
Thank you. I never thought of that, actually.
There you go.
So we will, just to test the draw engine and everything else, we will do a test draw first, or not a test. This is a real draw. This is the world's fastest triathlon suits, apparently, from Trimtex, our clothing partner, and guys who dress people like Christian Blumenfeld and not the least Gustav Eden, who won Challenge Daytona just about a week ago.
And when we say speed suits, just for those, so that everybody's going to be aware, are these for cycling?
These are for triathlon. So basically, this is underneath your wetsuit when you swim in Eidfjord, and you use it on the bike and you use it on the run.
So this is your core piece of kit, and this is what you want when you're on the bike.
For any triathlete with ambitions, this should be part of the core kit.
Super. I'm going to start to wear one of these all the time.
So the ones in competition for this, basically they logged an activity between, I think it was December 7th and December 13th. Any activity, you didn't have to complete the climb or anything. So with no further ado, I will share my screen again. And we're using a tool called the Random Name Picker. Something is going on in the background because it's really stressing my Mac. For the female speed suit, we had 70 girls competing. I will paste in their names and their nationalities here. And this is when we get to know if this works or not. So we will pick a random name of a female. And the speed suit goes to Ida Ågård in Norway.
There we go. Worked very, very well, Dog. I was a little bit worried there when that spinning thing came up, because that usually means that your Mac is about to die, but it didn't. It hung in there long enough for Ida Ågård from Norway to be the winner of the first of the Trimtex triathlon suits. And we'll be getting in touch with her as soon as this broadcast is over to find out the right sizes and to find out where we have to send it. Congratulations to you, Ida. A lovely pre-Christmas present there for celebrating Christmas in Norway this year.
We will send her a mail as soon as we're done with this broadcast, or most likely tomorrow. We made a note of that.
Super.
On the men's side, we have 380 names in competition for a speed suit, and they're going in there now.
Here we go. So we have all the names in there from Brazil, and there's from my native Ireland, from Switzerland. Nobody from Scotland there, so Stuart. We'll have to work on that. Finland, Great Britain. Maybe it's under Great Britain. Who knows?
Yeah.
We have France, Switzerland, Germany, South Africa there.
Some names here. And we're picking a random name again. And it starts counting. And we have Ukraine.
Artem Gurski from Ukraine is the winner of the men's Trimtex triathlon suit. Congratulations, Artem. Another email is going to be winging its way to you from Mr. Dog Oliver. And what were the kind of activities that they had to log, Dog? Was it, I'm assuming it was triathlon related, yeah?
So for the holiday quest, the whole target for the activity was between November 1st and December 15th to log a minimum of 4,921 meters of ascent, which happens to be the same ascent as you go through on one day for the Norseman Extreme Triathlon.
Well, I saw that in the pre-show notes, right? And I realized that it's like 4 kilometers. So you start in the fjord at Eidfjord and you finish 4 kilometers up there. And I just cannot get my head around that. Is it 4 kilometers?
5.
5 kilometers.
4,900. So
incredible. So I just couldn't get my head around that. So, and it's incredible too to think that so many people have gone and done this as part of the Norseman Extra Holiday Quest. That so many people have been involved in this. So it's.
But for the speed suit, it was just logging an activity the week that Trimtex was hosting the holiday quest.
Yeah.
So there we're done with that. I will go stop the share.
Super.
And we can move on.
Yeah, I think we actually had a little video there, didn't we, about the holiday quest?
Just
to show people.
And,
because of course the best thing about this is, and I'm sure this is the reason that many people are tuning in on YouTube here this evening and on our social media channels, is that there are 2 complimentary Norseman slots for women and 2 for men, if I'm not mistaken. So 4 spots up for grabs. And these spots that are going to be drawn now, they can be given away. They can't be sold, they can't be raffled, they can't be auctioned, but they can be given away to somebody else if needs be. So if you can't make it yourself, you can make arrangements to transfer them to somebody else. And I can't really remember this ever happening in the history of Norseman before, because these are so coveted, these places in this race, that just getting your hands on them, as Kaya said at the very top of the broadcast there, that, you know, people would have been so disappointed to finally have their name pulled out of the hat. And then we say, no, you were drawn for 2020. You're not getting that. Let's make a new draw for 2021. So this time around, we have a couple of complimentary places each for women and men here.
And just a little bit of background there, and for the sake of transparency, I have participated in the quest and I'm qualified, but I will of course not accept a slot if I get it, even to give it away. My wife has participated, same goes for her. We are both disqualified. The reason we have opened up to actually donate the slot for somebody else is we had quite a few people say, I want to join the quest, but I'm really afraid to win the starting slot. So hence, we allow people to give it away, not sell, not trade, not do anything else than give it to someone you really want to give an opportunity to Norseman.
But I think it's probably time now. These good people on YouTube have waited long enough, Mr. Oliver. Can we start the randomization process?
We will start the randomization process, and once again, we will start with the girls.
Yep. So it's 2 slots for women and 2 for men. Is that correct?
Yeah, we had 119 girls who has done the full climb. We actually had one that was missing 2 meters. We gave her the benefit of the doubt and let her join as well. So with 100 and
next time to start downstairs rather than upstairs.
Exactly.
Just leaves out there.
I will share my screen.
Yep. And again, it'll be a similar process here where we paste all the names in there and the names will be drawn at random. And to be honest, it's actually quite decent here, because we usually, in terms of entries, we usually have thousands of entries for both men and women. So this represents a very good chance, even if it is still over 100 to 1 for the female competitors. And there we can see all the names going in there.
Yeah, so this is the list.
And again, from the 4 corners of the world, we can see people who have taken part in this Holiday Quest challenge.
And we will then pick the first woman. There are 2 slots for females.
The first name out is Christina Dahl from Norway. Congratulations, Christina Dahl from Norway. You have just got your slot in the Norseman 2021. And as Dag was saying earlier on, there was a lot of people taking part there whose greatest fear was actually winning the draw here. I hope Christina is feeling very, very happy with the outcome there, and that she's ready, willing, and able to take up the challenge now next year.
Should we just go for the next one immediately?
I think just go. As I say, these poor people have waited long enough. We'll press the button again and we'll see one less name in the hat, one more name to come out. And this time it goes to Anna Beata Sørdal from Norway. Anna Beata Sørdal from Norway. So we won't have to worry about any quarantine issues that may occur in the second half of next year as we get towards the race. We have 2 Norwegian competitors there. And indeed, as usual, a huge amount of entries coming from Norway there for these coveted places in the race. So Anna and Christina, congratulations again, a wonderful pre-Christmas present. Don't start training before Christmas. I suggest you enjoy our Christmas, because there's going to be plenty of suffering to be done on the training course over the course of the next few months while you get ready for Norseman. You'll be on the boat in Eidfjord ready to go. Now we have 2 places to give away in the men's race. I'm going to guess that was there a few extra competitors in the men's Holiday Quest Challenge?
A few, yes. We have, just one moment, I'm just going to do the copy. So in the men's race, we have 630 names going into the hat.
Again, this still represents a pretty good chance. 600 to 1 or 630 to 1 is still relatively decent when you think of the thousands and thousands of entries that we usually get in these draws.
We had 60 nations entering the Holiday Quest, so it is interesting that we pulled 2 Norwegians for the first, but this is an authorized random name picker, so we trust that, and we go over to the men. We will start now, 1 out of 630.
Click the button, let's see what it brings up. And the first name out, Clement Lagache from France. Clement Lagache from France. Congratulations, Clement. It's going to be a very happy Christmas, joyeux Noel with that. And it might be, as I said, they'll let the training start in the new year, but you'll be making your way from France to Eidfjord to take part in the Norseman 2021, and we cannot wait to see you there.
Just to repeat, we will mail the winners tomorrow to just get connected. So just enjoy the evening and don't stress to find our email addresses. We have the contact info we need for now.
Exactly.
We have 1 more name to go.
We sure do. The last spot at the 2021 Norseman is about to be generated randomly here. Click that button, Dog Oliver, general manager for the race. And this time it is Chris Busby in the United Arab Emirates. Chris Busby, I hope Chris is still awake. They're a couple of hours ahead of us as far as I know, but Chris in the United Arab Emirates is going to be making his way from the desert to the fjords to get on that ferry and to start off in Eidfjord for the Norseman 2021. Congratulations, Chris. We'll be very much looking forward to welcoming you to Norway and to Eidfjord and to the Norseman in 2021. They are the 4 names. They are the 2 winners of the wetsuit. We're going to have a little look at a film very, very shortly. But just before we do, Stuart, can I just ask you what the feeling is around the X-Tri World Tour? Are people sort of ready to get out racing again, or do they want to wait until it's safe to do so? What's the feeling among the triathlon community there?
They want to get out. They want to get going immediately, and we know that from the entries that we're getting already for next year's races. The ones that don't run lotteries, they're coming in quite readily, quite fast. Yeah, there's definitely an appetite for it, without a doubt. They want to get back outside.
And Kaya, what are the authorities in Norway saying to you? Because obviously Stuart and I live in Sweden and you're living there in Norway. There's been a bit of a difference between how the pandemic has been handled. Are you having an easy time talking to the health services there and to sports ministers there? Are they happy to let you have the race next year so far?
Well, nobody really knows what's going to happen in the next few months because of the vaccines. But for now, I think the health sector in Norway has been coping really, really well. We've had some strict restrictions along the way, but it remains to be seen. Well, they'll say, but we are always in close contact with the authorities, and that goes for health, police, and everyone to get the necessary permits and information for the race. So I think my best answer is that we have great communication with them.
I would expect nothing less.
They're positive.
Race. Yeah. No, it's fantastic to see. And again, it's a country with such great facilities and such great organization. And of course, none of this would be possible without amazing sponsors like Zalaris, like Renault, like Bundegruppen, and all the other partners that have decided to support this race over the years and to continue to do so in good times and in bad, because without them, it would have been difficult to survive this year and into next year. And we're extremely grateful for them, to them for their backing throughout this. Let's have a little look at the only person who managed to race the Norseman in 2020. One person went out there on the course to do it. It was Alan Hovda, a man who knows the course very, very well. And he went out there, and we just sent a little message to Mother Nature just to tell her that we can't wait to see her again.
Before we do so, Philip, why don't we just wrap up and we'll end with the film?
Sure thing.
And then I know you have a soccer match to cover, so
I do indeed.
we will let you run out the door. Yep. We will share the Norseman solo film, but before that, I just like from the Norseman organization and all of our volunteer team, just say thank you, and to all of the ones who joined the Holiday Quest. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you used it not just to try to get a starting slot for Norseman, but also to stay motivated in a rough time. And Norway has been, we've had such a shit, or at least Oslo has a really shitty weather the last couple of months, and having counting meters of elevation at least gotten me out in the rain and sleet and almost snow. So I hope a lot of others have done that and enjoyed it, even if we couldn't give starting slots for all. So from us and our team, thank you, and our best wishes for the upcoming holiday season. And we'll try to figure out cool stuff to do next year as well.
Well, that's the fantastic thing about it, Doug, and Stuart, indeed, that, as long as you're organizing these activities, as long as we still have something to gather around, we will get through this, because we know what, sooner or later, this is going to be over. It's going to be vaccines, things are going to change, and we'll be able to be out there again. And thanks to you and to everybody who's working so hard behind the scenes to keep bringing us these races, to keep giving us a reason to believe in all these things. We look forward to seeing you there again soon. So shall we wish everybody around the world who's watching a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, an Eid Mubarak, whatever it is you're celebrating, and however it is you're choosing to celebrate it. Please do so safely, and we look forward to seeing you in Eidfjord when the water's just a little bit chilly in August of next year. Have a great Christmas.